and welcome to the Synadia control plane demo. My name is Seth Back. I'm an engineer working on the platform and cloud teams here at Synadia, and I'm excited to show you today some of the things that we've been working on in control plane and how they can simplify managing your NATS infrastructure at scale. So first, we're going to do kind of a quick overview of what control plane is, but I really think the best way or the easiest way for you to get a feel for what it's all about is just to go ahead and use it. So this will be very demo heavy. We'll do an overview of kind of what you expect feature-wise in Synadia control plane, then we'll just dive right in and start using it. So yeah, overview. What is Synadia control plane? Well, think of it as a central hub for all of your day 2 NATS management tasks. So cluster visibility, connections, messages sent, received, all of those sorts of metrics. Accounts, creating it obviously and editing accounts and pushing them out to the server, Jetstream assets, both managing them, like things like consumers, creating them and viewing them, but also sharing them across accounts. NATS users, creating NATS users, but also providing sort of a self-service way for individuals to download those credentials themselves, keeping track of those issuances and then revoking them if necessary. And then automation. So everything we're going to look at today in the UI is backed by a REST-based API. And so there's lots of opportunities in your IAC pipelines to use service accounts and sort of script some of your common maybe NATS management tasks or cluster management tasks there. Second, it's the sort of the common way that we integrate and expose the management of Synadia platform components. So think HTTP gateway, the upcoming workloads and connectors, authenticators, all the sort of the platform components that Synadia is developing and publishing. Control plane is going to be the central view, ways that you would access those, configure them, and interact with them. So yeah, that's a high overview. It's just basically a central way to make your life easier when you're managing your NATS cluster. So let's just go ahead and take a look. So I have Synadia control plane deployed locally here, and it's connected to my supercluster in the cloud. And this is very similar to how you would deploy it if you were running it locally. You would put potentially in your Kubernetes cluster and expose it to your enterprise internally, or if Synadia is managing your NATS cluster and control plane for you, you would very similar ways that you would get limited access to it. But let's go ahead and log in. So we're going to log in as admin, and we come right to our main dashboard here, and we can see the systems we have configured. We've got one that's demo, and a system is really just the view of a cluster. So if we click on it, we'll get a better idea of that. This is my supercluster in AWS. We've got 2 regions, US East, 1 and 2, and then US West. If we zoom in a little bit closer, we can see that we're filtering based on connections. So this is the number of active connections to each one of these nodes in the cluster. So kind of a quick visual overview of what's happening. We can also go down and we can filter based on my messages sent and received, bytes sent and received. And then if we click on any one of these individual nodes, it zooms in and it gives us what version of the server is running, gives us some information on the CPU, memory usage, the number of connections, inscriptions. So kind of a quick way to get an idea of what's actually happening with your servers and potentially their server health. And kind of along those lines of understanding what's going on with your infrastructure, if we click on the Analytics tab, this gives you an overview of all of your metrics across your system. And every one of these metrics here can be shipped with Prometheus Remote Write, or we also provide a Prometheus scraping endpoint. So again, we want to give you a quick and easy way to understand what's going on with your cluster right through Synadia control plane, but also make it very easy to ship those same metrics to whatever additional analytical or tools that you use internally. So looking at some other things that you can do, we'll kind of focus on accounts now. If you click on accounts, it gives you a list as you would expect. Here's some accounts that I've pre-configured for us. If we look at Factory East, we'll just look at that one. We can see that we've got an overview now of what's happening, but in the context of this particular account. So this is not across the system. This is just what's connected with this account. And if we click on the connections, we can actually take a look and see all of the active connections, what type it is. It's a client, NATS client. We can get a quick look at what the round trip time is. And again, gives us options to filter on any of these things. The usual other things you would do, Jetstream users, you can create users and download their credentials, see when they have recent activity, any issuances for when they've downloaded those credentials, sharing, and then settings, setting imports, exports, connections, all the connection settings that you might want to update for your account. But one thing that really excited me when I was working on control plane was the cross-account Jetstream sharing. So I'm sure it's something that some of you have done. And I know at least when I did it before control plane, I'd always have to remember, go and dig in the docs, what subjects need to be exported, what subjects need to be imported. You've got the Jetstream API, you've got the flow control, the response subject, all the things. And I always did it wrong the first time, and it never worked, and then I have to come back and fiddle with it and get it done. So kind of in the spirit of making your day-to-day management tasks very easy, let's go ahead and share this order data stream. It's got just a few messages in it, but let's go ahead and share it from this account into another one. So if we click on the sharing tab and click on our streams, I'm going to go ahead and export this stream and order data. It's private. I don't want everyone to be able to see it. I want to have to approve them. So I've just exported it. Now there's no accounts that have it. I'm going to go ahead and export it over to, let's do the Business Hub here, add that account. And now it's shared with the Business Hub, and it gives us an easy link here inside of control plane to hop right over to the Business Hub. And the imports, I'm going to say I want to import an available stream for me. I can see now it's an order data. It's coming from Factory East. Let's go ahead and import and mirror that. So it's imported it. We want to mirror it to order data. That looks good. 3 replicas. We'll save that. And now we have the Business Hub order data mirror inside of our Business Hub account coming from the Factory East. So, stuff that would take me, a long time to get right, and I wouldn't get it right the first time, is now 30 seconds, and you can share it across accounts. So that was one of the things that really got me psyched about control plane, is just how it eases tasks like this, makes tasks like this very, very easy to accomplish. So one final thing I wanted to highlight with control plane is the functionality for platform components. And to do that, I want to kind of talk to you about auth callout. So auth callout, we have a tab here for configuring it for the system. Auth callout is just a way to tell NATS server that when a user connects to this particular account, I want some sort of microservice to be forwarded that request. It gets to decide, should that user connect and what account that user should connect to, and then responds to the server, and the server acts accordingly. So we've made configuring that very easy through control plane. We'll just do it now. We have auth callout. Let's configure a control account. I have one conveniently called auth callout control that we'll use. And then we'll go in and manage that. I want to create users. These are the users that will, if you have your microservice that's doing the authentication, the user credential, that when it connects, it bypasses that sort of auth callout, and it just, the server allows it to connect based on the credentials that it has. So I've created one here, Factory East, we'll do that. But we could create a new one if we wanted. And then target accounts. This is just a list of accounts that you're saying when this authenticator makes its decision, the logic that I've written to makes its decision for whether or not this user can authenticate, what are the accounts that it's allowed to essentially transfer into? And we'll just say Business Hub. We'll save that there. And so now we can see the overview. We have the auth callout overview. So one of the key parts of implementing auth callout is you have to write the microservice that does the actual authentication, connects to the control account, does the actual authentication, interacts with control plane, and you have to do, or interacts with NATS server, and you have to do all the things that are around building and managing that. And we wanted to bring that into Synadia control plane. So if you click on settings over here, we look at our platform components. We have this option to enable auth callout authenticators, and we're going to go ahead and enable auth callout authenticators and run a little OIDC authenticator I've written that will actually tie into control plane and show you how that works. It's an OIDC authenticator that kind of follows very closely the YouTube video. If you go to our YouTube channel, Jeremy there kind of gives you a tutorial on how auth callout works, and this tracks that fairly similarly. So let's go ahead and enable auth callout authenticators. We're going to say that we want it to use the authenticator's account and the config bucket to handle its configs. And so this is just when an authenticator accounts, this is where it's going to go. We'll hit submit there. The component token I'll talk about in just a minute, but let's go back to our auth callout. And we can see now in our configuration, we have this authenticators tab. And this authenticator tab right now is empty because there's no authenticators available. There's nothing connected and registered with control plane. But now at least we know platform components authenticators are enabled, and we can configure them through here. So let's come back here. We'll grab this component token now, and I'm going to connect that to my authenticator code that I've got here. So it's just an OIDC. We give it the string of the Synadia control plane server and then this token, and that's how it interacts with control plane, and will register itself and then become available in the UI. So let me just get here. We'll paste this token in. We connect. And so we can see it's connected to our, this demo control plane. It's registered, it's connected. It says the registration connection is success, and it started a heartbeat message. So again, some of the parts about creating these authentication microservices is you have to manage, like, is it healthy? Is it responding? What's happening to it? What are the logs and metrics? We wanted to abstract all that away and have it available via the via control plane, so that you can just focus on writing the authentication piece. So if we come up here and we go back to our account list, let's just double check your authenticators. We can see connections. We can see that our platform component authenticator is connected to our authenticators. But then if we go back to auth callout and we look at our authenticators, now we can see that we actually have an OIDC that's available because it's connected to control plane. Its heartbeat is healthy, and now we can start using it inside of our system, or our demo system here. So I'm going to go ahead and enable it, and not only did it register itself, it also, in that registration process, tells control plane what it needs to be configured in order to run correctly. So in this case, we need a client ID, and then we also, the OID services that it's connected with right now, it's just connected with Google. So we'll go ahead and enable it here. We'll save those changes. And if you can see the logs that came through here, it received an update on the particular key value that it was watching. It connected into the control account that we have configured here with Synadia with Synadia control plane. It started logging and is shipping its logs over a particular subject, and then it started its OIDC service and lets us know that it's healthy. So a lot of these interactions with the logs, the metrics, the getting your configuration, all of that is abstracted away, and you can interact with it and manage it directly through control plane, and then just really focus on implementing the actual function that is your authentication. So a lot of this code, look for it to come to the authcallout.go packages, and we'll be publishing essentially these convenient ways for you to hook up your authenticators into control plane via the authenticator packages. So yeah, that's kind of an overview of the things that we're doing with control plane. If you're interested in it and this excites you, you can actually get access to it right now. It's called Synadia Cloud. And Synadia Cloud, I'll just click over here. It looks very familiar because Synadia Cloud is Synadia control plane, just running at scale and fronting our NGS, which is just our NATS global supercluster. It's a global supercluster that's in all the different cloud providers across the globe. And so if you create a free account, you can get access to, interacting with NGS. You can create accounts on there, all of the things that we just went through, Jetstream, cross-account sharing users, all of the things. That's available right now for you to try out on NGS. The other interesting thing about Synadia Cloud is you're able to actually bring your own local NAT system and connect it in to the cloud UI, and that's with remote systems. So in that case, you would just have your system that you're running locally, and you would import it directly into essentially the UI of Synadia Cloud. All of the assets and everything remain in your cluster, in your cloud, but now you get to use essentially control plane as your window into managing your remote system. So that's something that's available there for you today to use today. You don't have access in the remote systems to the platform components for a variety of reasons. Those are kind of separate in the way those interact with the NATS cluster, but it definitely gives you all the NATS user management, the Jetstream assets, creation and management, the clusters, sort of the overview with the stats and analytics and all of those things. So yeah, I appreciate your time and listening as we've kind of gone through what Synadia control plane is. If you want more information, we've got resources, the Synadia platform docs at docs.synadia.com. Great place, great resource for all the information about platform and how to interact with it. Synadia Cloud, obviously cloud.synadia.com, and then docs around that. But I really appreciate your time. Thanks for listening, and yeah, look forward to interacting with you either on the NAT Slack or in the future. Thanks.